Hello, my sweet friends. It's Summer with Hammons Nest, and I'm here for a fun segment in the Be So Kind event. So it's a little craft talk going on today with the Craftastic Group. And so you'll find all the information you need. Just check the description of this video. So I'll tell you about a little freebie that you get today. You'll be able to download this printable design that I'm working with. And we're gonna create something really cute, so come on in. Those on replay, tell me where you're watching from. Tell me if you're a new friend and you found my page through the event. Just tell me your crafting style. So obviously you can kind of probably already get a sense of my style with my background here, a little vintage rustic style. And I love sharing easy DIYs, thrift flips, and all the fun things. So come on in. Make sure you start following along if you like that style, and we can be friends. Okay, let me get pulled up over here and get to where I can see the comments, because that allows me to chat back and forth with you. All right. And I do have it in the description that Debbie over at the Evergreen Treehouse is the creator up after me. I have 45 minutes to craft with y'all today. And I'm excited because the theme is what could make you happy are some honeybees. Isn't that the sweetest? So like I said, the event is called Be So Kind. That is a wonderful message to be spreading around all day too. And I just love the little bees. I have such an appreciation for them. And so it's really fun to pick a craft that we can create with that theme. And so y'all be sure to go check out all the replays. There's a group, the Craftastic Creations Group, that you can go check and find the link for that in the description. You can see all the replays. All the talented crafters, I believe there were 12 or 14, 16, something like that. There were over a dozen. And so happy Thursday, right? Happy Thursday. If you've been, let me shout out to my people who already know me and are connected with me. If you've been following along in my stories, I'm on like day 13, day 14 of my, something like that. I've lost track of the days on my craft studio revamp. So I am crafting for the very first time from my newly reconfigured, redecorated craft studio. No, I can't give you a tour today. It's still a hot mess. Just imagine this crafty hot mess behind the camera. That is what's going on. I'm still getting all the little things in all the right places, but I did work on getting this area set up so that I could hang with y'all today. So it's fun to kind of break it in, because when you have taken such a break from crafting and creating and not having a space to do that, I was itching. So I'm so excited to be in this event today, and maybe you'll be introduced to some new crafty friends that you can follow along and get inspired by. Okay, so what are we working with today? Let's get started so we don't run out of time. I think we're good, and we'll have some good pace with this project. And you probably want to know what you get for free, right? If you are a member of my Creative Nest Crafting Club, that is a virtual online crafting club that we have, you already have this design. But if you're not, this is my gift to you today. This beautiful local natural honey, wildflower honey. It says at the bottom, it says beeswax, soaps, and candles. It's a beautiful little rustic, look how pretty the background is on that. It looks like just some coffee or tea dyed paper, just some old looking paper. You can either see the link in the description, or you can comment the word honey. And if that doesn't work for you, go grab the link in the description, because if you're a business page and you're commenting honey, it may not come to your inbox. But anyway, and then you can get your free 8x10 download and print it out on whatever you like. Today I have mine printed out on some rice paper. It's just some nice decoupage paper. I love working with rice paper. Sharon all the way from Australia. Isn't that amazing? You just happen to still be awake at 3 a.m. My goodness. Hey, Some Love Creations in the house. And Michelle at La Fonda. I wish I could say hi to every single person. I'm scanning and seeing all my friends that are in the room. I just imagine y'all are kind of gathered around with me here in my studio. So it's fun, and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, Anne at Whimsically Nodded. Puerto Rico in the house too. Hello, Madeline. Treasure Trunk by Kimmy. Lori at the Farmhouse Stencil Shop. Vicky, it's so good to see your name. They're beekeepers. Okay, so we tried that for a minute, but it didn't work out. Maybe one day. All right, so let me get started with the project. So I've got this wooden charger. Did any of y'all see these when they were on clearance at Hobby Lobby? It wasn't too long ago. Some of your Hobby Lobbies may still have them stacked in the corner somewhere on clearance. But I gave $2.99 for this. So if you don't have this exact wooden charger, you could maybe find somewhere else. And if this looks familiar, look at this project behind me. This was a beautiful bird one that we did. This inspired me to do it in a honeybee version. And I think we did a couple other things. We did a hand letter. Anyway, this was one of the projects from a craft retreat that I did. Not this one, but the other one. Anyway, I don't have it to show you, but it's such a pretty surface to do a project on. So we're gonna get started. Let's put our decoupage paper out of the way for just a minute and go ahead and let me tell you, I didn't get this price tag off here before I started, but it should come off all right. And nothing is in reach like it normally is with my new configuration. So I feel a little lost, but it's okay. I've got all the goodness for our project in a basket. I gathered everything and I just went around my studio, because normally how I have things set up before the reconfiguration, I have all these totes in front of me that I can reach and grab things out of. And so I can't get to my stuff, but we're gonna make it work. Look, it's off. We made it happen the old-fashioned way. Luckily, those little clearance stickers aren't too bad from Hobby Lobby, you know? All right, so for the first step, I am gonna use a little bit of, you can use anything you like that'll stain wood. This just happens to be an espresso color in a water-based Minwax stain. And even though it's water-based, which I love because I can use it inside, I like to cover up my fingernails with a little bit of glove, so we're gonna do that first. But this is a great, if y'all have never heard of the Minwax water-based paints, stains, they are incredible because you can get them tinted in any color. I mean, even the wildest colors if you want some purple stain or lime green stain. But of course, I like a yummy, like dark walnut. And it's more like a gel stain. I would say it's thicker than your average regular stain. And so it's really fun to work with. But we're gonna just do this on the outside edge to see how thick that is. And of course, I've used this a lot down to the bottom of the barrel, so it's probably a little bit thinner than that when you get it brand new. But I'm just gonna let it go on right here. We're going to apply a good little generous coat. It's not gonna be quite this dark. When I wipe it back, you'll see the wood grain, just like you would a regular stain. We want it to be good and rustic, so of course we'll pull out some techniques for that. I hope y'all are having a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. I will stop every now and again and check out the comments, so y'all still talk to me, tell me what you're up to. Make sure you comment the word honey if you want the free printable we're working with today, the download. It's not a physical product, it's just a download. And you can get crafty with it in your own way. You could just frame it for some cute art. Be a good thing to take you through the summertime transition into the fall. Y'all tell me, what do y'all decorate with? Let me get back down here. Oh, I love, yeah, Anne says she likes these stains too. I really do, and they're just easy to work with, and they're no fumes, so I can work inside. If I didn't mention this and you don't know me, I'm coming at you live from my home studio in North Louisiana. Even though my hat says Destin, if you can read it backwards, it's just my favorite place to vacation is all. But it is hot, blazing hot. I heard someone yesterday talk about, they felt like it was Satan's breath when they stepped outside. I mean, it is something else. So, I love when I can do some craft products, paints and stains, and they are low fumes. All right, look how beautiful. Now, the longer you let this stuff set, it could get kind of gummy, but we don't want that. So see, it still just stains, and we can go back and highlight it here and there and make it darker in some spots, but we're just getting a good base coat on first. Jamie, make sure you write that again because yours says Heine, which is funny and it makes me laugh, but it's not going to send you the printable. So make sure it's honey, H-O-N-E-Y, or there is a quick link in the description of this video, so you don't even have to comment that word. That just makes it kind of easy. It comes straight to your inbox. Katie May says she's in North Louisiana too. And she agrees. Yesterday I was like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. It was just one of those things. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm just going to kind of come around. What I want to do is, as much as I love a good solid stain color, I do love some variation. So I want some of the edges a little darker. This is a great way to be able to do that. And then not put as much pressure when you're wiping back, and it'll leave some of, see that heavier circle of color there for you. And you can just kind of blot it instead of wipe it, then it'll dry. I'm gonna do the same thing around the edges a little bit. It just gives me some pretty variation of color. And I feel like you really can't mess it up, you know. Oh, we got a little fly friend. Also here in the South, we are fighting some fun flies. And they want to come craft too, I guess. All right. Just kind of blotting. So now we've just got some pretty variation of color, which we can do even more in depth if we want to. I got to get some of these edges a little bit better though. As much as I love the Distressed and Imperfect, I can see some of them need a little bit more product on them. Okay, so after that, we're going to want to prep the center for our printable. And to do that, I've got some creamy paint that we're going to use. The color Vintage White Folk Art. I'm going to pull out here in a minute. And we basically want to get... Guess what I didn't do? Guess what I didn't do? Y'all are gonna laugh. Me telling you that I'm trying to get situated in my new studio. I did not get a cup of water to put my paintbrushes in. So when I tell you that I'm breaking this space in for the first time, I am not lying. I have not crafted in here, so I'm gonna cover that up. All right, so I got this Vintage White color, and I'm gonna save a plate, and we are just going to, you can't get me shared into the group. I don't know why. I don't know why. That's crazy, but that's okay. Maybe just share my page or something. You know, just share a link to my page. Tell them to come join us because I'm live. Okay. So, anyway, I am going to just do a little painting. This will give us a good background for our printable. Because sometimes when you decoupage, especially with like things that are more translucent, like decoupage paper, tissue paper, anything like that, you will want a pretty light background so that your design will pop, okay? So just come along the edge like that. There is a little lip that I'm just taking my time and I'm just following along the lip. If I happen to get any paint on the outside of the lip, I can always just take a little sander to it. It's gonna be all good. And at this point, I probably would take a dryer to this and get it dry. But guess what? The magic of television. The magic of television is I have one already ready that's dry. So I'm gonna put this over there. Okay. Alrighty, only 65 in Wisconsin today. It feels amazing. It's been hot here. Well, I'm so glad you got a break in that heat, Laura. That is lovely. Send it our way. Oh, you just got back from Hobby Lobby, Sherry? What goodies did you find? Hey, Stephanie, House of Fritz in the house. I'm in the group. That's where I found you. Okay, good. So I am in there. All is well and good. Several of y'all were sharing me. Well, that's good. Well, more friends, the merrier. Okay, so through the magic of TV, we have one already ready to go. Now we're going to take our printable here, which, mind you, if you're just joining us, this can be yours. This download can be yours. Just comment the word honey or go check the link in my description of this video and you'll find a quick link where you can, it will prompt you to become an email friend and give you your download through email. It's pretty cool coming your way, and then you can print it as many times as you want. And depending on how comfortable you are crafting with printables, you can shrink it down, make it bigger. And that's Rusty. He's seen something that's gotten his attention. I'm not sure what. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna get some Mod Podge here in just a minute. Hey, but especially if you're a business page and you want this printable, you're gonna have to go to the link in the description, because those little autoresponder things that come to your inbox don't work for business pages. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm trying to get a perfect circle. You're thinking, how is she gonna get this and cut it and not look messy and all that? Well, for this particular surface, I'm just gonna lay it down where I know that I want it. I want the local and the natural honey and the bee, of course, and then it'll end up capturing the wildflower honey. You won't see the beeswax soaks and candles there. This is the bottom. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay it down exactly how I want it. That's first and foremost. And then I'm gonna kind of just press it in the middle. Okay, I don't want that to show, so that's important. I don't want that. Okay, now I think I'm good. And now I'm gonna hold it really firm in the center. Oh, you're so welcome, Deborah. You got your lemon. Oh, that was the thing we went live with last that I gave away. That's so good. Okay, and I'm gonna come out and I'm just gonna kind of use my fingernails, and I'll show you when I'm done. I'm pushing very gently to the edge of the circle with my fingernails, or you could use something else if you don't have any fingernails, like both of my daughters that chew theirs off. Or you just keep yours really short. And I am just making this impression ever so gently. And it's gonna give me this perfect circle that I need to cut out, okay? All right, so after doing that, you can see the impression, and you see the circle impression on the design, how I did it. It's not coming through, but you see that. Okay, good. And hey, Layla, how are you? Thank you. I love this table too. Picked it up off a roadside sale. A cool little vintage shop had like an outside market going on, and there was some vendors set up in the yard. And I was walking around and I saw this table and I said, I gotta have that. I gotta have this table. All right, so here's where I have to take a deep breath and be careful to get this circle as perfect as possible. Now, really, I don't need it as perfect as possible because there's some edge of this design. I really should have blown it up just a little bit. We're gonna fix it up. And we could trim it out. That's what I'm probably gonna do anyway. Just trim it out. I said I was gonna be quiet. I just can't be quiet and craft with y'all. So y'all just pray that I get a good circle cut. Okay, if you have time after this, I just want to remind you, Debbie over at the Evergreen Treehouse will be up after me. My segment will end at 12:45. And so see what I mean about a little bit of this? I'm not really actually too worried about it because it kind of looks cool. But just the edge where it's a little bit of the white, you actually can't even tell. I thought you might be able to tell more, but you can't. So now we want to just test it and make sure it sets in there right. Y'all, this couldn't be more of a perfect fit. Look how cool that looks. That looks really cool. Ruth, I'm not sure what you're asking about exactly what the best paper is, but I have all kinds of stuff in this little dresser right here. I've got rice paper, mulberry paper. I love printing on fabric, tissue paper, the plies of napkins you can print on. There's all kinds of cool stuff. I actually have a really good blog post over at hammondsnest.com. If you go check that out, you will learn how to print on fabric. This is one of my favorite things. I almost did it today because I do love the texture it adds, and actually this is printed on fabric. So you see the texture of this bird printable. I don't know if you can really tell, but it is printed on fabric. Okay, so again, I'm going to save a plate here, and I am going to, I've got to grab a brush. And if you're new to me, I will share that I have been in a couple weeks of a revamp of my studio. I've been sharing behind the scenes and stories. If you're a friend on Instagram, you can go to my Instagram channel and I have a whole little highlight bubble you can watch every day that I've been sharing. When we pulled everything out of here, new flooring, new paint. And this is the first craft I've done in my new space. And it feels like a brand new, it feels like I mean, it's all my same stuff. I didn't buy any new furniture or anything like that, but I just rearranged things. And it feels like a whole new house, like I moved or something. So it's pretty cool. All right, so I'm getting a good little healthy coat of Mod Podge for my decoupage. Making sure it's evenly spread, even all the way out here to the edge, because we don't want to fight with any corners not gluing down. Okay. What do you use to transfer the sheet to the plate? My grandson silenced you. Aw, your grandson silenced me. Okay, so I am using Mod Podge. Is that what you mean? Making sure I understand you correctly. If y'all know what she's asking, feel free to answer her. All right, I'm making sure this is placed down, and I'm just gonna kind of rub from the center. And that's one thing I do really love about rice paper, is you can be kind of rough on it, you know? You can pick it up. See how I can just like pick it up? Make sure I don't have any big, I don't mind a few bubbles. To me, they're character. So I don't get too worried about it. But if I see a huge bubble or something, I mean, I might try to take care of it. So, like I said, this design will be pretty on a number of things. Thank you, Tracy. Y'all, let me tell you a little story about this card catalog. Can you believe this? I got this for free. I got this for free. My daughter's school was doing some work on their library, and luckily for me, the person who gave it to me knew that I liked old stuff, and she was like, we just need somebody to come get this heavy thing. And so I did. All right. And it was heavy. Okay, there we go. So we are good there. We have, I feel like I need a little bit more. I'm gonna grab my stain brush. This one has been dried for a little. I'm gonna add a little bit more darkness to the edge here. Yeah, just regular Mod Podge. Just regular. I use matte. It's my preference of sheen, but you know, they make it in all kinds of stuff depending on your style. But Mod Podge matte. And I have some super matte. Have y'all ever tried that? I didn't see a huge difference. But I have actually pretty much all the formulas for Mod Podge, because you just never know when or why you might need something, you know? That's the thing, Angie. That's a great question. So the only thing about this card catalog is it is not the best storage ever. Let me show you. I'll show you what one of the drawers looks like. Oops. So see, it's the plastic, so it's not super deep. Anyway, I had some dried florals in there that were in little bitty things. And I'm sure I could put some stuff in there. I need to think on it, because I don't like just having a piece that doesn't work as storage. I have some really awesome storage pieces in my possession, and I love putting them to use. So, but I can't bring myself to get rid of it just because it's kind of slightly impractical for me. So I have to figure out some way to use it. I tried to put ribbon rolls in there. It wasn't really super functional for that. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool. All right, now I have to kind of decide. I end up actually liking the edging a little bit more than I thought I would as far as inside of here. Yes, there are so many different ways you can do decoupage. I know, it's just one of those really cool finds. Okay, what do we need to do next? We need to make a bow. So we need to put this, who wants to learn how to make a fabric bow? Do you love fabric? I do. These are some beautiful fabrics that I picked out for the kind of theme or feel of this project. So I've got a beautiful Osnaburg muslin. I've got this bee. These are my yellow tones, so a creamy yellow and then a brighter yellow. It's really pretty. These all came from Hobby Lobby. It's a brown plaid and this brown floral. So I really love this brown floral. I can't seem to find it anymore at Hobby Lobby. I'm really hoping they'll restock it. But we're gonna make a quick little bow for this. Oh yeah, they sure would. That's a great idea, Maria. She says something, I think creating chargers for the holidays for your table would make a fun addition, and I agree. Y'all remind me at the very end of this, go wash your paintbrushes. All right, so let's whip up a little bow, shall we? I'm gonna be using some raffia. I'm gonna be using my little bow maker just to hold my pieces of fabric. Doing great on time, huh? I love it. That plaid is so pretty. And to me, I love these colors. These are obviously my happy colors. And so they go for fall, for summertime, for me, for spring. I can use them. My brown plaids are everything. Osnaburg, so it's O-S-N-A-B-U-R-G. And it is the type of muslin that it just has all these little brown dots in it. Can you see? It has a real natural look. And you can tea dye it or stain it or whatever for an even more primitive look if you want to. So let's get this bow going while we're letting our decoupage dry over there. Got my pins out. I probably should have had some strips cut of this, but I really didn't want to. I was like, no, it goes pretty quick. And then that way you can see it from start to finish on just how quick a little bow can come together. Thank you, Anne, for typing that out. I didn't put a top coat on. I'm just letting it dry for a minute. I'm not sure. Sometimes I don't top coat things, especially if I'm going to use them inside the house. Okay, but you can spray coat or whatever you like to do. All right, let me get a couple strips of this. This is a little extra strip I need to get rid of. Okay, so I'm going to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I am going to do 10 strips. So I just do a little slit like this and rip. So I'm just going to get 2. And I may not even need 2 because of how big this bow is going to be. Let me see. I don't want to be wasteful, but it just goes in my scrap pile. I might just need 1 because of how big the bow is. If I was doing a big rag bow where it's hanging down, that would be different. And it just depends on how long of a cut I've got. So this one looks about the same. I'm going to snip and rip. That's what we call it. Little snip, a little rip. And if I feel like I need more, I can always go grab some more. And I'm going to have to put back up my ribbon too. All right. So this is a pretty bee one. I know they still do have this at Hobby Lobby. Isn't that pretty? I just love that muted yellow color. And I may, because this one's a little bit shorter, I may do 2 of these. See how easy that is? Do you like the rip fabric? Okay, so Debbie, that's a great question. So these little pieces, if you go to my blog at hammondsnest.com, I actually have a blog that I wrote on fabric organization, and these are little magazine backer boards. Now, they're just like really like several poster boards put together. And how I used to have it in another cabinet, they were bigger. I just cut them in half for this new cabinet that I did during my studio revamp, and it's worked perfectly. And I love having something to roll it on. Makes it look really, really neat. I did share a reel, like, I don't know, several days ago, showing how I got everything back together and got it all reorganized, and it's been lovely. Okay, here's my Osnaburg as the last cut, and really the bow itself comes together really, really easily. I'm always amazed at how quick these can come together. The fabric ripping is the only thing that takes a minute. But if you were timing me, it probably would take me as long as you might have thought, huh? Okay, so now we have all of our strips ready to go. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Okay, and like I said, I may add in more. I just like to kind of start building it and decide. You know, it's one of those things. So I'm gonna put some Osnaburg first. And I just do it like, if you kind of imagine it looking like one of those awareness ribbons in a way, you really just need to kind of look like that, you know, to have a loop here that you can push down and have it depends on how you want it to look. You can do it without loops, but that's what I like to do. So I like to pull it like that through, loop, loop, tail, and that's all. That's all that it ends up looking like on the actual bow maker. And yes, I save all my scraps. So it just looks like loop, loop, tail, tail. And if you need a little bow jig or something like this, my friend Steven, he would love your business. You can comment the word creek. He's a good friend of mine, and he made my glue gun holder. He made my bow maker. Okay. So let me see. I'm going to do another loop, and all I'm doing is I'm going to pick the order in which my fabrics go. So muslin, plaid, bee, yellow floral, and then I just repeat it twice. That's what I said when I think I'm going to have a 10 stack. It means I have 5 fabrics. I'm going to do 2 pieces of them all. All right, I'm going to get this vibrant yellow off. Okay, I love this color combination. I love mustards and browns. They're so pretty to me. Like I said, for summertime, for fall, all the seasons, they tend to work pretty well. Let's see how big I made that bow. That's about how big I'm going to make this one. I want a little bit more loop. Oh, I'm trying to get more loop. Let me just start that over. I kept pulling and pulling, and it wasn't pulling for me. So if you like the, tattered look, fabric bows are the way to go. I do have a ton of ribbon and I know how to make a bunch of different ribbon bows, but these are certainly more my style. All right, I'm gonna do the brown floral next. And sometimes I'll even mix in some regular traditional ribbon with ripped fabric, and that looks really pretty too. Oh, I know what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to put raffia. It's okay. So I just like taking like a bundle of raffia here and there. I do not overthink this part at all. I grab some raffia and I just get it in my hands like this, and I try not to overthink it. I usually, like every 3 or so fabrics, I'll put some raffia in. That's all. Well, I'll end up with probably 3 bunches kind of spread throughout this bow. And I think it'll go with the kind of a country bee look, so. Okay. And then, so the only fabric that we haven't used is our bee fabric. And now we're just gonna do the same pattern again. And he actually, if you get one of these from Mr. Steven, he makes the dowels taller now, because I told him sometimes I make big old bows and I run out of space. So he adjusted the height of the dowels. Okay, so now we start over and we grab some Osnaburg muslin. Put that down. We'll stop for another raffia insert. Again, not overthinking it much because this stuff is a beautiful mess, but I love it so much. Okay, so we've got that. Then I have to go back and remind myself. Okay, brown plaid. Okay, brown plaid. And then I do have to go back. Look, I have to cheat and go, okay, what did I put next? Because I love for the patterns and everything to kind of be mixed amongst the bow design. And then brown floral. So don't ever, if you're making one of these, don't ever, and it's getting a little bit smaller as we go, which is gonna be really cute. So kind of started out wider, and then as I went in, I kind of scaled up. I'll put a little bit more raffia. Oh, that's okay, Carol. That is okay. I'm glad you're here. When you're here, you can always go back and check the replay. I believe it'll be in the Craftastic group, and it'll be here on my page. Oh, also, I should mention, if you're watching this on YouTube later, because all of my live videos go over to my YouTube channel, you know, the word thing doesn't work, so you'll want to check for the link in the description, okay? All right, lastly, let's do a pretty bee right on top. You're so welcome. Yeah, y'all have fun getting crafty with that bee design. I'm sure you'll make some pretty things. If you do, I would love for you to tag me so I can see. If you think about it, it's okay if you don't. But I just really like seeing what y'all create. Okay, so now we have enough going on. We're gonna tie this off. I could have put a piece of string before I got started, but I never get too worried about that. So I'm gonna cut a little piece. Oh yeah, that's true. Dollar Tree grass skirts if you like that kind of texture. All right, I'm just gonna slip this right out of here. I'm gonna tie it tight. Yeah, I do. I haven't really tried to price it, you know, but I do think that fabric bows are cheaper. But you gotta like that style. Some people just don't. They just don't. But if you're here watching, there's a good chance you do. But we can still be friends if you don't. All right, so I'm gonna get it really nice and tight. I always say this, just it's really good to get it nice and tight. That really helps you fluff your bow better. And because I know that I'm gluing it onto my charger, now I'm just going to kind of get all my pieces, and I can just kind of fluff it a little bit. It's gonna be a little extra wild because it's got that pretty raffia going on, but I think it can take it. I think this particular design can take it. I'm gonna kind of fan out some of my pretty prints so that you can see them better. If there's anything you don't like, you can always cut it, get rid of it. So let's pull back out this guy. And here with my last minutes that I have here, we have to decide. It's okay if you can't see the wildflower, honey. We have to kind of decide, like the way I did it on here, it doesn't matter that you can't see because you can see the honey. The way I did it on here was I just kind of put it down here at the bottom. But I really want to put some florals on this. So let me show you. I've got two different florals. I think I know which one I'm going to show and do it with. But let me show you. These are kind of expensive. Have y'all seen these blackberry bushes? These are kind of pricey. But I thought, oh, this would look so pretty to layer. I don't know. It's so undecided. But see how that keeps everything very muted and more primitive kind of looking, I would say. I'm just holding it up. That's not how I'm going to put it. But you get like the layering of the blackberries. I love that. But then you can go lighter and brighter. I feel like it needs the blackberries. I have this, what you call chalice bloom, and I can cut off some pieces of it. And I have other greenery too. I was just trying to do something a little different. So you see kind of how that looks and see kind of how that would brighten it up. Which one do y'all like? Tell me real quick. Do you like the white blooms or the blackberries? Diane, you can comment the word creek and you'll get my friend Steven's page. He makes all those. You think it looks great with black? Okay, tell me real quick. I only have a minute to decide. I love both. I love the green being brought in with this, but I do love that blackberry. I do love that. Give your bow a good shake and everything will fall into place. Yes, that's a good tip. I just can't decide. So see how pretty that looks? All right, with that bow in the middle. But y'all liking the blackberries. Okay, all right, all right. I see more blackberries coming through. I like it too. All right. So I'm going to just kind of clip these off. Ooh, and can't y'all see some good blackberry honey or infused or so here this goes. This is kind of an expensive floral pick, I have to say, but that's overwhelming used blackberries. Got it. And I have a cute little button for the center of the bow as well. Let me go dig that out. Actually, I have a cute stack button. I thought I'm gonna stack these two buttons. So I liked how big this one was, but I'm gonna stack this one on top. That's what you're gonna see me do next. And then we'll get those blackberries in place and we will be finished. Don't forget, go check the link in the description. You'll see Debbie at the Evergreen Treehouse is gonna be right after me. I'm sure she has something really cute planned. And then you can get your free honeybee printable, and there's a link in the description as well. All right, so I'm stacking. Cute, cute, cute. I don't know why this is not. I gotta tatter the edges just a little bit. It's so cute, it's so cute. I can hardly stand it. See how cute that looks? The little bow. Yes, the blackberries were in the fall section last year at Hobby Lobby. So, I know, fall, kind of funny. Now I just need to lay them out and glue everything in place and we are good to go. And I could do a little bit more work with Distress inks. I also had some cording that you could glue in the inside here, but I really like the way it looks. And I think, you know, like this is gonna get covered up anyway. So I think it's perfect. I'm just kind of getting a feel for where these need to land, and then I can really get them in place. Oh my goodness, that is gonna be so perfect. Okay, so let me just do a little bit. I could staple too, but I'm just gonna do a little bit of glue. And really, I think my bow is gonna hold it on once I put a big, ooh, my glue gun. Let's see. My glue gun was giving me a fit earlier. It was acting like it was gonna break on me. It better not. Not right now. We don't have time for this. All right, y'all, my glue gun is like, I don't like you anymore. We're about to make it happen. I think I got a clog in it or something and I got to work on it. But I didn't really have much time to do all that before. So, all right, I'm gonna hold this in place just like so. Really press it down and I'm gonna give y'all this final glance. It's been so much fun. Be so kind. Y'all are so kind. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for all your wonderful interaction. Hopefully talking with each other and me. Ooh, see, creamed blackberry honey, Anne said. That sounds delicious. So I think either could have worked out well, but I think this really, really, really just takes in all the colors of everything we have going on. And I'll make sure it's nice and glued down. I just want to give y'all a final look, so I gotta hold all of it in place. That's okay. Usually my other name, we laugh about it. I'm Summer, but usually we laugh about my other name is Heather. People accidentally call me Heather. But I am Summer. I love to craft. I love rustic crafts, and this has been really fun to create with you. I can't wait to see what you do with your printable design, something amazing that you could make. I just think, yeah, the colors, I think the blackberries were really a nice touch. I have 2 more minutes left. I might take some Distress ink along the edges. Really has been fun. Y'all are amazing, and once you get your printable design, you better get crafty with it. Oh yeah, this Distress ink helps the shape pop just a little bit more. Even if you just print this thing out and frame it, I want you to have it. So make sure you go check the link in the description or comment the word honey for your freebie. I do give away a lot of freebies through my email list. I have all kinds of fun stuff. So once you're on my email list, after you grab that printable, we'll be able to stay in touch even more. Okay, oh, these are chalice picks, and I had a post about these. These are my friends Ruth and Ruby. If you comment Ruby, I know I've got all these. If you comment Ruby, she may have some more left. I'm really not sure. They were a hot deal, and they sold out pretty quickly. Okay, so I just put a little bit more Distress ink before I hop off here, and that really makes that shape pop. I loved it so much. Appreciate y'all. Can't wait to give you a full studio tour. I am going to go get busy putting things in boxes and putting things in drawers and getting some more things settled in. But it's been fun to break in a new craft room. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of the event. Y'all go check out the description for all the info. Bye, y'all.